If you could put the Punisher in another character's costume, which would you choose? Which costume is most appropriate for Frank Castle? That's right, War Machine. Yeah, I never knew how awesome it would be to see the Punisher in the War Machine armor until these books came out. The armor is packed to the brim with firepower, and we all know that the Punisher loves his firepower. While these last few issues have been amazing, and I suggest you go find copies of Punisher 218 and up to the most recent issue, 223. But before we get to the book, let's just have a recap of what's going on. The president of the Democratic Republic of Chernia, sorry if I said that wrong, has been ousted by a military coup that seized power. The one running the show is a man named Petrov. Nick Fury recruits Frank Castle to take him out. Fury is basically grounded right now and can't send any shield forces to stop Petrov. Frank's not really interested until Fury tells him that he is killing kids as well. And just like that, Frank Castle is on board. But he can't just go as the Punisher. This country is filled with Petrov's army. He would be slaughtered in seconds. So they need a little more firepower. So Frank Castle breaks into a base and steals the War Machine armor, and immediately flies off to kill Petrov and his army. Now that was basically issue 218. The rest of the issues leading up to now is just shows Frank Castle killing Petrov's army one by one, and slowly getting closer and closer to Petrov himself. But in issue 222, to get Frank off their back, they launch a nuke. And this is where issue 223 begins. So yeah, let's get down to the Punisher, issue 223. I want to start off with the art. But first, I am really bad with names, so I'm sorry if I butcher your name horribly. The art was drawn by Guy Villanova, and it's not my favorite kind of art. It's not as detailed as much as I would like it to be. I can tell he clearly has his own style, but it could have been a lot better. The art isn't necessarily bad to the point where it's distracting, but I'm just saying it could be a lot better. Some parts look better than others, but it really feels like he really drew multiple pages in a day because of the lack of detail and backgrounds for the most part. The same criticism can go to the colorist, Lee Lawfridge. Most of the colors end up just being yellow and orange and tan and sometimes blue. Seriously, it's okay, but it's not beautiful by any means. But it does get the job done. I would prefer a better art style, but I can live with it. So now that that is out of the way, we can get to the story by Matthew Rosenberg. So Frank is chasing down the nuke, but he's a bit too slow to reach it. He starts jettisoning off parts of his armor to compensate, which really isn't smart because the armor needs every part to function correctly, and the suit tells him that, and even Fury is telling him that. He eventually catches and removes the warhead from the missile. He then threatens the last couple of soldiers to remove their armor in 5 seconds, or he blows the warhead. Fury doesn't want him to blow away the country. He wanted to save it, not kill it. But Punisher still counts down, and the soldiers don't really listen to his demands in the time that he wants them to. So Fury releases an EMP from the War Machine armor to stop Frank. Now the armor is useless, but so is the enemy's armor. They get into a fight and Frank quickly kills them like they're nothing. But there's a part in the fight where these guys are ex-SHIELD members, and one of them tells Frank, "Have you forgotten I was trained by SHIELD?" And then Frank just fucking fucks him up and tells him, "SHIELD isn't shit." That's a great line. Anyways, he now goes to fight Petrov, but Petrov comes out of his bunker wearing an armor suit as well. The EMP could not get inside his bunker. But this fight pretty much just ends up with Petrov talking shit, and Frank quickly fucks up Petrov and kills him rather quickly, and the mission is over. But Frank still has the armor. And at the end, we see Captain Marvel talking to Nick Fury about the armor and Frank, and they want to know basically where it is and where he is. And Nick Fury just says, "I'm sure it will show up eventually." And then, of course, we see the Punisher still wearing the armor, attacking people in New York. So, yeah. And it basically ends there. And you know what? I do enjoy all the one-liners Frank spouts off. And I love how he just fucked up every guy that got in his way. But I do feel like the last fight could have been more of a fight. Don't get me wrong, this Petrov isn't some superpowered supervillain, but he was in his own suit of armor, and Frank didn't have any armor no more. I would have liked to see more of a fight rather than just Frank knowing all the weak spots of the armor and killing him quickly in the process. It's still badass that Frank took him down with ease, but just saying, there could have been a real fight there, at least. So all in all, these last few issues have just been a slaughter. Every issue that I have read so far are light on story and high on action, which I don't mind for a character like the Punisher. I've enjoyed the ride. Sure, I have my criticisms of the story, art, and color, but overall, I enjoyed it. It's a decent book with lots and lots of killing. So it's like an 80s action movie. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say for the Punisher 223. This was Comic Showcase number 7, and I hope you all enjoyed, and you know the drill. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want, you can share the video around, and that helps me. And if you want to talk with me, you can always follow me on Twitter. Alright everyone, that's it for today's episode of Comic Showcase. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, be safe out there, and hopefully I see you guys next time.